Sheeta and her previous husband got divorced and now after many years married another person and are living a happy and peaceful life. Their family has new guests coming. But stay with us till the video to know everything about when and how it got married. So let's start the video, but before that there is a special warning. Spoilers ahead for the 90-Day Fiancé, the Other Way episode. There's something about JoJo. If you haven't seen the episode yet, watch it on Max before reading. James and Mytalia's relationship is raising serious red flags, and it's not hard to see why. The ongoing issues between them, which seem to revolve around their inability to have frank discussions about their future, have persisted since long before the cameras started rolling on 90-Day Fiancé, the Other Way. Their recent conversation about long-term goals revealed more about their disjointed relationship than ever before, leaving me increasingly concerned about whether they can make their marriage work in the long run. From the beginning, it's been clear that James and Mytalia are not on the same page about some pretty fundamental life choices. In the latest episode, they finally sat down for a much-needed discussion about what their future looks like together. Mytalia made it clear that she dreams of raising their family in Indonesia, where she feels at home. She envisions them building a life in her home country and is adamant about her desire to settle down there permanently. However, James has serious reservations about this plan. His time in Indonesia has made him realize how difficult it would be for him to establish a sustainable future there, especially without steady employment. Not only has he struggled with the language barrier, but he has also faced challenges finding work that would support both of them. James's reluctance to embrace life in Indonesia became even more evident when it was revealed that he hadn't made much of an effort to prepare for the possibility of living there permanently. He didn't sell their car before leaving for Indonesia, which suggests that he always had one foot out the door, unsure if he would commit to a permanent move. On top of that, he frequently brings up the fact that their dog is not allowed in the country, almost as if he's using it as an excuse not to fully commit to their life in Indonesia. His failure to learn the local language, despite knowing about Mytalia's long-standing dream, only adds to the growing sense that James is not as invested in this plan as he might have led her to believe. As someone who has watched many couples from 90-Day Fiancé crash and burn over the years, I've started to develop a bit of a knack for spotting the warning signs that a relationship is headed for trouble. With James and Mytalia, the signs are glaring. Their conversation about their future was filled with tension, particularly when they began discussing their opposing desires for where to live. James feels the pull to return to the United States, where he knows he can find steady work and provide for their future. Mytalia, on the other hand, is firmly rooted in Indonesia, with no intention of moving away from the place she calls home. The divide between them doesn't end there. Mytalia recently brought up her desire to have a baby, telling James that she believes a child would strengthen their marriage. This comment, while likely well-intentioned, struck me as a major red flag. It's never a good sign when one partner suggests that having a child will fix their problems. While children can certainly bring joy to a relationship, they also come with challenges that require a solid foundation between parents. Adding a child to a relationship that's already on shaky ground could ultimately lead to a more painful breakup down the line. James's reaction to the idea of having a baby was another telling moment. He didn't seem thrilled at the prospect and asked Mytalia point-blank if she could accept the possibility that he might not want children. Her hesitation in responding spoke volumes. It's clear that she's dead set on becoming a mother, but it's equally clear that James is unsure whether he's ready for that responsibility. This mismatch in their priorities is yet another example of how disconnected they are on major life decisions. Their lack of communication and unity about the future is troubling, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to see how their relationship can survive unless one of them is willing to make some major sacrifices. Will Mytalia give up her dream of living in Indonesia to move back to the United States with James? Or will James abandon the comfort of his home country to try and make a life in Indonesia, despite his reservations? Neither option seems particularly appealing, and the reality is that one of them may ultimately have to give up something that's central to their happiness in order to stay together. For now, it seems like James and Mytalia are still together, based on what they've shared on social media. Their posts suggest they may still be living in Indonesia, but as any savvy 90-Day Fiancé fan knows, Couples often withhold key information while the show is airing. It's entirely possible that they're keeping up appearances online and are planning a big reveal at the season's tell-all, where we might learn they've already relocated to the United States. Personally, I hope that when we reach the tell-all, the couple announces that they've been able to work through their issues and are on the same page about their future. Maybe they've improved their communication skills and found a way to compromise on their conflicting dreams. However, if they continue to avoid having honest conversations about what they want from life, it might be better for them to part ways before they bring children into the mix. As much as Mytalia believes a child would strengthen their relationship, I'm not convinced that's the answer to their problems. In fact, introducing a child into a relationship that's already fractured could make things even messier if they do eventually split. James and Mytalia's journey is far from over, and while their future together is uncertain, one thing is clear: they need to start having open and honest discussions about their goals and aspirations if they want any chance of making their marriage work in the long run. Catch new episodes of 90 Day Fiancé the other way on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TLC. People confirmed on Tuesday, September 17th, that Big Ed, a well-known personality from 90 Day Fiancé, got engaged to Portia within just 24 hours of meeting her at a fan meet and greet event in Plantation, Florida. The news of their whirlwind engagement came as a surprise to many, especially considering the incredibly short time frame in which it all happened. However, just as quickly as the engagement was announced, news of their split followed shortly thereafter. On Monday, September 23rd, Big Ed took to his Instagram stories to make a statement, confirming that he and Portia had called off their engagement after less than a week. In his message to fans, Big Ed addressed the situation with a tone of reflection and sincerity. He opened up about the impulsive nature of the engagement and admitted that, after having time to think it over, he realized that it wasn't the right decision. "Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to address some recent developments in my personal life," Big Ed began. "As many of you know, I recently proposed in what was a whirlwind and admittedly, a very impulsive moment, confirming that he and Portia had called off their engagement after less than a week." In his message to fans, Big Ed addressed the situation with a tone of reflection and sincerity. He opened up about the impulsive nature of the engagement and admitted that, after having time to think it over, he realized that it wasn't the right decision. "Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to address some recent developments in my personal life," Big Ed began. "As many of you know, I recently proposed in what was a whirlwind and admittedly, a very impulsive moment,